What's up, War Room family? What's going on? It's Mistress Carrie. Welcome to episode 240 of Cocktails in the War Room. I'm your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room, the room in the house where, well, all the military memorabilia is from my family and my trips overseas, but it's also where the bar is and where we've been gathering since March 14th of 2020. This is episode 240. Episode 1 was back on March 14th of 2020. We did 80 nights in a row here in the War Room before we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast. And then Cocktails in the War Room became a weekly show like it is now, where we get together, talk about music, talk about whatever's going on. And, well, I have to have a sidekick. I have to have a co-host. So why not have Wednesday, the goth pug, who... as soon as the show started, I couldn't get her in here. And then as soon as the show started, I got her in here. And hold on. Go ahead, Wednesday. Go ahead. I want to get her centered in her camera, right, Wednesday? For anybody that's new to the show, that's where you can find her on Instagram at Wednesday the Goth Pug. We're pushing 1,000 followers on Instagram. So if you haven't followed Wednesday yet, you got to follow her on Instagram. Would you like a cookie? You want to sit down? Can you get down for me? Good girl. So Wednesday has a friend in the house right now. I think I told you guys last week that there's a baby in the house. So I have relatives here that are staying in the house because they're having work done on their house. So not only is my little nephew Dax here in the house, he's 2 months old and he's adorable, but Dax's doggy Charlie is in the house. So Wednesday has had a friend. What? Down. Wednesday's had a friend in the house the last week, which she has loved, although I think Wednesday loves it more than Charlie. You want to have a cookie? Yeah. Are you going to do some tricks? Are you going to do some tricks? Can I have your paw? Hey. Thank you. I want this paw. Can I have a high five? Nope, back up. Can I have a high five? High five. Thank you. What's going on, Alexis? Donna's here. Elsa, Michelle, Marcy's here. Denise is here. Ash. What's up, Travis? Hey, Travis, did you hear what Rob Halford said when Judas Priest announced they were taking over for Ozzy at the Power Trip Festival? He said they were ready to raise the double devil horns high in the sky. And when I read that quote from Rob Halford today, I thought of you. So let's see. Jessica, what's going on, everybody? Wednesday, be good. So Wednesday's had a little friend in the house, which has been kind of interesting. So that's been good. Want to tell you guys that you can always tell by what I'm drinking and what I'm drinking it out of, what kind of a day I'm having, whatever. I just want to warn you guys right now, this is what we're drinking tonight. Not a paid sponsor. It's been that kind of a day. I got called in to do a last minute shift on the network today, and I just finished on the air a little while ago. What are you doing? Hey. And it's been a very, very busy day, and it's been a busy day in music, so there's a lot to talk about. Hey, get down. So I need this. And yes, I'm aware I'm drinking Red Bull at 8:30 at night. This is going to be a late night too. Let's see. Let me get caught up with the, let's see. Carrie's here. What's up, Bish? Brett joining us as well. What's up, Mr. Lavoy? Kevin Arnold joining us. MC needs her wings. Donna, you don't even know how true of a statement that is. Today has been, usually Tuesdays are hectic anyway, just because I'm trying to put finishing touches on the podcast episode. If you were a commuter into any major city, especially Boston, you know that Mondays and Fridays, the traffic is less, that Tuesday is the busiest day. And so, hey, shush. So for people that take a long weekend and take Mondays off or Fridays off, they get back into it, get through all of the stuff, and then Tuesday they hit the ground running. So that's always the busiest day for email, the busiest day for trying to set up interviews for the podcast, meetings, just appointments. It's just, so Tuesday's always, what are you doing? Tuesday's always really busy anyway, but today getting called in for those extra shifts today on the network, it's been a very, very busy day. What's up, Pam? Pam says, hi, Wednesday. Mark says, you're going to be bouncing all over the place. What's up, Philip? Jessica here. Yeah, I know I'm going to be bouncing all over the place. Oh, by the way, guys, Annie Ange joining us here in the War Room. Can you guys all congratulate Annie Ange, who, if you've been around the War Room for a long time, you've probably met Annie Ange at different events. Here go the pillows. Annie Ange, over the weekend, became a great-grandmother for the first time. There's so many babies in the family right now. It's like insane. And really, Wednesday, we're talking about babies. It's not all about you. Here. You think I'm going to be bouncing off the wall? I'm the one drinking the Red Bull. She's the one going crazy. So Annie Ange became a great grandmother over the weekend. My cousin Kim, who is Annie Ange's oldest daughter, became a grandmother, which is crazy when like your generation of the family has kids old enough to have their own kids. And so the whole family is so excited. He is beautiful. It's amazing. And everybody's super excited. So yeah, great grandma. P.S. Annie Ange can still do the splits, and she's a great grandmother. So that just shows you the kind of genes we got running around in this family, which is pretty awesome. Mark says, something in the water. I became a godfather over the weekend. Congratulations, Bish. Denise says, congratulations, Annie Ange. You don't look like you're old enough to be a grandmother. Never mind a great grandmother. Congratulations. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I can't wait to meet him. For a family that has a lot of girls, as my family does, all of a sudden there's this whole generation of boys kind of popping up, which is awesome. So we're really, really excited. And the family, well, things have been hard. Obviously, you guys know, family-wise, as of late, to always kind of get reminded about how good things can be. The addition of some beautiful, healthy babies into the family is always really good for that. So, what? I don't have any more. Look at the face. Look at the disappointment. I don't have any more. I gave you all the ones I had. That's it. And you need a manicure and a pedicure. Your nails are out of control. That's going to happen this week. I'm just warning you. So yeah, we're all very excited. So we've had a lot to celebrate, a lot going on. And just like that, she left. She's like, oh, really? You don't have any more cookies? Gave me the paw and took off. Keith says, oh my God, is that a Penny McGuire sighting? Yes. Wednesday says she wants more treats. Jessica, Wednesday always says she wants more treats. She literally can't get enough treats, which is part of the problem. You failed me, Mom, says Donna. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I got lipstick on my teeth. All right. We got a lot we got to talk about. I want to remind you guys about some events that are coming up for the Pike. The first one is the Hair Fest coming up at Indian Ranch, August 19th. The Metallica tribute band, the Four Horsemen, is going to be headlining that one. So that one's coming up first. Then Rock Fest featuring the Prince tribute band, Love Sexy. They're going to be at Indian Ranch on September 9th. Anytime I talk about shows, you always know that they're on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. That I always make sure that I get the information up there as soon as shows get announced. 50 years of rock. George Thorogood celebrating a 50-year career at the Pike's 19th birthday party, which is happening at Indian Ranch on September 2nd. Those tickets are on sale now. And last Thursday, I was broadcasting live from Polar Park at the Woo Sox game, and I got a chance to meet the myth, the man, the legend, Oil Can Boyd, who was unbelievable. He was so much fun. I love doing those Throwback Thursday broadcasts from Polar Park because I get to meet all of these amazing Red Sox greats. And outside of the Sherwood Diner at Polar Park was actually a replica of the time machine from Back to the Future, the DeLorean, all done up. And while I was talking to Oil Can Boyd, I was like, hey, before the broadcast, I was hanging out with Mike Shue, who was there as well. And we were just kind of joking about the DeLorean, and we were talking about what I should ask Oil Can Boyd. And we're like, we should ask him what day he would go back to. So I asked him that on the air, and he didn't say the birth of his kids. He didn't say, I thought maybe he would want to go back to a game that he didn't pitch very well and maybe want to redo it, or go back to reliving a game that he pitched his best. He actually said he wanted to go back to the game in 1986 when, as he said, Roger punched out 20 guys, meaning Roger Clemens, his 20-game strikeout or 20 strikeout game at Fenway. Oil Can Boyd said he wanted to go back and watch that game from the bullpen all over again, which I thought was a really interesting answer. So Oil Can Boyd was just cool, man. He and his wife had been married for like 45 years. He was giving me marriage advice. It was just really cool. And so I wanted to show you guys the picture. So that's me and Oil Can Boyd. And then speaking of that DeLorean, I wanted to show you guys some of the pictures in case you didn't get a chance to see him on social media. This thing is unbelievable. So I want a huge thank you to Bill and Patrick Shea from Hubbardston. This is their car. This thing is meticulous. It looks exactly like the time machine in Back to the Future. Exactly. Down to the littlest detail, to the point where they have actually purchased some of the props from the actual movie. Einstein, the dog they had life-size Marty, and the doc was there. They had all of the props you can see in this picture over here. They had the skateboards, the yellow road case for the plutonium. Like, Mike Shue and I were nerding out. You can see in this picture down here, see Doc Brown and Marty in the vest. Like, the attention to detail was so unbelievable. We knew they were going to be at the game. I didn't realize they were going to be setting up this whole display right outside of the Sherwood Diner. And Mike and I just could not stop quoting Back to the Future. They let us poke around all in the car. They let us get in the car and take pictures. And when I tell you, like, they took still images and the inside of the car is exactly like what it looked like in the movie. And it was so cool. Mike Shue and I were like little kids climbing around this car. So they do a bunch of car shows and stuff with this thing. They're always taking this car out. You know what else they have? Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen Back to the Future. At the end of the movie, when Marty gets his dream pickup truck, when his family's all successful, they actually own the pickup truck from the movie and own a bunch of other stuff as well. And so it was so cool. What's up, Mr. Fitz? He said, latecomer, got you on whilst in my van that I'm working on. Yes, they have a flux capacitor, literally every little detail down to the dials that the keypad right here, you can actually scroll it and set it to any date you want to take pictures. Like it was like a dream come true because I love Back to the Future. A couple years ago, my husband and I, we went away on vacation with the kids and we wanted to do like old school movie night with the kids. I hate saying old school movie night, but we made popcorn and we like set up like this big blanket tent in the living room of the house we rented out in the mountains. And we watched Back to the Future and the kids loved it. And they were like, how do you know every line from this movie? And I'm like, you have no idea, A, how much I love this movie, and B, how many times I've seen it. And the kids loved it so much they wanted to watch the sequels, which I was so all about. And so I couldn't wait to send the kids pictures of me sitting in the DeLorean. And they were like, no way, that is so awesome. So for anybody that's a gearhead at all, but especially a fan of the movie, Bill and Patrick Shea, they do a bunch of car shows and stuff. If you ever get a chance to go and see this car, the attention to detail. I cannot express enough the painstaking effort to make this car look exactly like the movie. It's unreal. Let's see. The technology, Jonathan said. Yeah, exactly. Wow, I'm needing that right now. Marcy, tell me about it. Like, can you imagine if we really could time travel and go back to any days, like what days you would relive, what days you would want to like go back and fix? Keith says, I did old school movie night with the family when we go camping. It's awesome. We, over the holidays, the kids wanted to watch the new Top Gun movie. So I was like, well, if you're going to watch the new one, which we got on demand, I'm like, you have to watch the original one first so you get all the jokes and you understand who everybody is. And they loved the first one. So we watched Goonies, which they also really loved, which I love as well. So I was super excited about that. What's up, Rachel? Jessica says, I've got National Lampoon Christmas Vacation and I know all the words. What a hilarious movie. Eric says 1.21 gigawatts. What's up, Carrie? Sorry I'm so late, says Jason. What's going on? Any date in the 80s, says Jerry. I would love to go back to December, I believe it was 17th of 1986, and go back to my first Bon Jovi show. Tesla opened up when Modern Day Cowboy first came out. And me and all of my best girlfriends from high school, we got all dressed up and we went to the show. And our parents, this was back in the day when your parents would do this. Like, they drove us to Worcester, dropped us off at the Centrum, and were like, we'll meet you here at like 11:15. And then they left. And then they came back and got us again. Like, it was awesome. Jessica says, I love the Goonies. Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I know all the lines. So, Jerry, I have a projector, like one of those one-eye projectors, and I have an old pull-down white movie screen. And in the summertime, we can do outdoor movies. And the first one we watched when we got the screen set up out back, we hang it off of a deck off the back of the house, and we watched Ferris Bueller. And it was awesome. We brought lawn chairs out there, and it was great. Richard said, I'd go back to November 1968 for many obvious reasons. If I could get a time machine, Richard, I would send you back there. Absolutely. Michael says, gotta love Polar Park. It was awesome. We had such a great time. Jessica says, my aunt from New Jersey absolutely loved John Bon Jovi. I will fight your aunt from New Jersey over John Bon Jovi. And today is Richie Sambora's birthday, which we will talk about a little bit later on. Marty playing guitar inspired me to play the guitar. Mike Shue and I were, it's your cousin Marvin Berry. Like, we literally couldn't stop quoting the movie while we were combing around. Mr. Voorhees, how can you do outdoor movies without getting eaten by mosquitoes? I would be drained of blood if I did that here. So I am too. However, I found a mosquito guy that sprays like non-chemical, like non-toxic mosquito spray. And he sprays around my backyard for me, and it makes it a lot better. But I have to wear like a hoodie. Like, I can't be out there in short sleeves and shorts or whatever. And we do like the citronella candles and the torches and the bug spray and all of that stuff. But I started spraying for mosquitoes a few years ago, and it helps because I am that person that if we're outside, I'm the only person getting eaten by mosquitoes. I'm that guy. Like, that's me. So Kathleen says, I always get eaten as well. My sister always does too. And like, my husband never does. Like, my husband and I can be sitting next to each other outside. He won't get bit once, and I will like look like a raspberry at the end of the night. It's awful. Jerry says, of course you have to watch Weird Science. Yes. Oh my God, I love that movie. Love that movie. Are the mosquitoes purple? They should be. I saw John Bon Jovi in Skid Row in 89 at Great Woods. Donna, I was at that show. Stacy says, I am your density. What's going on, Ryan? Thanks for joining us. So many jokes, so little time. Exactly. If mosquitoes sucked on some of us, they would get drunk, especially on Tuesday nights. Exactly. They don't dare bite the sergeant mage. They know they will pay for that. Chips, dips, chains, and whips. Exactly. It's a Mad Max. Oh, Mickey. That is one of my all-time favorite movies and one of the movies that reminds me of my dad. It's a mad world. That was one of my favorite movies from my childhood. Oh my God, I can't believe you brought that movie up. I love Under the Big W. I love that movie. If you guys want to see a crazy old movie with an unbelievable ensemble cast, if you've never seen It's a Mad World, go back and watch that movie. It's awesome. It's awesome. Mosquitoes love my legs, says Jonathan. Make like a tree and get out of here, says Melissa. The quotes didn't stop the whole time. You guys sound exactly like me and Shu climbing around this thing. And the guys were like laughing hysterically at Mike and I because we were nerding out so bad because you turn into a kid when you get around a DeLorean time machine. You just do. You can't help it. What's up, Walter? The Breakfast Club, I'm cracking skulls, another one where I could quote the whole movie. And I can't wait to see, is it Andrew McCarthy that made the documentary about the Brat Pack? He wrote a book about it, and he's been filming a documentary, and he's been going around, sitting down, doing one-on-one interviews with all of the members of the Brat Pack. So like he, interviewed Demi Moore and Ali Sheedy and Emilio Estevez and Molly Ringwald and Judd Nelson. And that documentary is supposed to be coming out about the Brat Pack, which is super exciting. Let's see. Michelle says, I love the movie Grease. Right there with you. I wanted to be Sandy at the end of the movie in the skin tight pants with the cigarette. I thought she was so cool. Tell me about it, stud. Yeah. Can't help it. All right. Never ending story. Did you see the story online? Somebody like there was like an abandoned garage and they went to like empty it out and it had the head of the dog from the Never Ending Story, which is Atreyu, right? That was the prop in the movie. It was like the size of the garage. It had the head of the actual dog in this garage. I just saw it online like last week. Fast Times. Yeah, there's so many movies like that. So just wanted to show you guys some of these pictures of the DeLorean, and Mike Shu and I just completely nerding out about it. And we were joking, it has a cassette player in there, and we were joking like we should set the radio to the Pike or whatever. Want to remind you guys also, not only can you hear me on 100 FM The Pike, but also on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. You can hear me every afternoon there as well. I'm going to apologize right off the bat because I forgot the cocktail books. I told you I was having a day that I was so, because I didn't make a cocktail for the show tonight, I didn't go into the cabinets in the war room to make the cocktail, and I forgot to grab the cocktail book. So yeah. I need that. Not going to make it. All right. We got to talk about the podcast. So last week, when I told you that episode 161 was going to feature Des Rocks, I told you guys, this is a new artist I really want you guys to go and check out. And not only listening to the music, but you've got to go and see him live because he's one of those artists that you think the music, you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Then you go and see him live and you're like, this guy's amazing. So Des Rocks was my guest last week on episode 161 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. I'm telling you, when he announces more tour dates, whether he's here opening up for another artist or whether he's on like a headlining club tour, you guys need to go and see Des Rocks. He is awesome. You guys were going to love him. So tonight we just drink tequila neat. Yeah, if you've got access to tequila, I don't in arm's reach right now, and it's probably a really good thing because I have too much work to do when the show's over. Jerry says, hey, Mistress Carrie, I have a question. What is your favorite cartoon character? I'm an artist, and I like to to draw Warner Brothers characters and Disney characters too. Oh, man. Well, Disney characters, the Muppets. Technicality, Disney owns the Muppets now. So, but cartoon characters, oh, man. I always loved Gossamer, the big monster with Bugs Bunny. Monsters must lead such interesting lives. Like, I always loved Gossamer. I just love all of those old cartoons. I always loved the Coyote and the Roadrunner. I always loved Yosemite Sam. Like, all of those cartoons that taught us to shoot each other in the face and blow each other up with Acme rockets, like, all about all of those. Love all of those old school cartoons. But probably, I think from the old Warner Brothers cartoons, probably Gossamer. And then there was always something about Eeyore that I just, like, I wanted to hug him and make him smile because he was always so sad. Hi. Speaking of giving out hugs, what are you doing? Huh? I was just telling him about Des Rocks Wednesday. Remember that guy that we interviewed in MCHQ? Do you remember? You sit in on all my interviews now, so you know who I'm talking about, right? You're just going to sit there for a while? You can. Do you see the judgment? Did you get your shirt yet? Donna wants to know. I checked the mail today. There was nothing in the mail. So Marvin the Martian, Tom, yes. And you know who else I loved? I always loved Rosie, the robot from the Jetsons. And I always loved Kazoo from the Flintstones. So those are also some that I love as well. But yeah, Marvin the Martian for sure. Duck season, rabbit season, duck season, wabbit season. Yeah, exactly. Is it mail call yet? Donna says, yeah. Wednesday, it is not mail call yet. All right, so we were recapping Des Rocks. And now I just told you who's on the podcast this week. Episode 162 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight tonight. So I interview Nita because her new album, The Call of the Void, is out. She collaborated with everybody from Lizzie Hale and Dorothy to Alice Cooper and David Draymond from Disturbed, like Chris Motionless from Motionless in White. Just all people that have been on the podcast are all on Nita's new album. And then I interviewed her a few days before the record got released. So then she's at the Whiskey in West Hollywood, and her drummer is also her boyfriend, has been for 8.5 years. And then the night of the record release party, Josh proposes to Nita on stage. So this episode of the podcast is literally talking to her a few days before she got engaged, and she had no idea it was coming. So first of all, congratulations to Nita, not only of the release of her new album, The Call of the Void, but for getting engaged. There's video of the proposal on YouTube that you can see. She said yes. Super exciting, but I was really excited to get Nita back. For some reason, every time she comes on the show, she does the interview from the back of the tour bus, which is where she was again this time. So that's who's going to be back on the podcast. Super excited that Nita's coming back. She is also featured on Alice Cooper's new album, which is called Road, that's coming out later this year. It's the first time that he actually used his touring band to be the ones to record the music for one of his studio albums. And by the way, it's Alice Cooper's 29th studio album. So he's on her album, she's on his album. It's a big year for Nita and for Alice Cooper. So let's see. Yeah, spammer in the room. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, Wilson, we're good. They have a mistress. They don't need another one. We're all good. Travis says, Nita, would you ever consider reaching out to Doro? I know Doro is European, but she is a rock goddess too. It has nothing to do with her being European. I mean, I've talked to Sharon Den Adele from Within Temptation. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care where they're from. Melissa says the Illudium Q36 space modulator. What's up, Paul? He says, what's up, stranger? She is one of the nicest people I have ever met. Saw her a bunch of times when Alice was opening for Motley Crue on the Bad Things Tour, says Ryan. Nita's awesome. I bumped into her in Vegas. She helped me celebrate my birthday. Like, she's just a badass, and I'm so excited that she came back on the show. Trina says, I already have 2 Nigerian prince husbands. I can't support that. I don't need another one, Trina says. Jane, stop the crazy thing. Did you guys, by the way, see, speaking of flying cars, that that they just approved, the U.S. just approved the testing of a new flying car? It's called the Model A, and it holds 2 passengers. It can go 200 miles on the road, 100 miles in the air. It is street legal to drive in the United States, and it takes off vertically. I can't remember the name of the California company that directed it, that designed it, but it's in testing now. It is a street legal flying car. Like, finally, the Jetsons, they promised us flying cars in our lifetime, and we might actually get them. So you guys are going to have to Google it. Remember Fraggle Rock? I absolutely do. My sister, so that generation gap, the few years between my sister and I, my sister was obsessed with Fraggle Rock, loves Fraggle Rock. Matter of fact, I think everybody that kind of lives in New England has a place in their yard where they throw the branches and the leaves and the lawn clippings and all of that. And my sister and I refer to that compost pile as Marjorie, the trash heap in my yard, because of that. Anyone remember the Smurfs? Yeah, absolutely. There's supposed to be a movie coming out, and Smurfette is being played by Rihanna, which is going to be hilarious. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So super excited. Nita is going to be on the podcast. Episode 162 goes live at midnight tonight. Also want to remind you guys, if you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, not only do you get the full-length weekly episodes, you get the sit rep, which is Monday through Friday, with all of your rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates, tour announcements, album release info, like all of that stuff. You get it 5 days a week, around 5 minutes, and you get it Monday through Friday. So if you have not subscribed to the Mistress Carrie podcast yet, you got to subscribe. And this is just a few of the places that you can subscribe. So just search the Mistress Carrie podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. As soon as you see this logo, you know you're in the right spot. And you can always go to YouTube. All the episodes are there now. All the sit reps are there now. And you can also just go straight to mistresscarrie.com because all the episodes are there as well. You just pick the episode you want to listen to, click play, and there you go. The Model A, that's original, says Coral. I think it's a little bit of a throwback to Ford. I think it was done on purpose, which is exactly why I think Tesla did the same thing. Hanna-Barbera cartoons, Grape Ape, Heckle. Oh yeah, all of that stuff. So good. Holding strong at 149 countries for the podcast. If you're celebrating your birthday today on July 11th, you share your birthday today with Lil' Kim, Peter Murphy from Bauhaus, Suzanne Vega, and Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Cheers. Jerry says, the reason why I'm asking your favorite cartoon character, because I want to send you a picture that you want. Oh, Jerry, I would love that. Are you kidding me? Definitely Rosie the Robot. Definitely Marvin the Martian. Definitely Gossamer, I think, are probably top 3 for me. Yeah. And the Muppets. But yeah. Let's see. 149 countries. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Cheers, says Marcy. All right. We got a lot of headlines. We got a lot of news to cover because a lot of stuff has happened. So Stained released another new song today off of their upcoming album, Confessions of the Fallen. It's called Cycle of Hurting. It sounds like old Stained, like mud shovel Stained. The video came out today. The song is awesome. Dropkick Murphys announced their tour with dates all around New England. Just no dates in Mass, but Maine, New Hampshire, and Connecticut. The new Candlebox final studio album is called The Long Goodbye. That's coming out August 25th. Corey Taylor's new album, CMF2, coming out September 15th. Britney Spears has been teasing for days that she had an announcement today. She made the announcement that her official memoir is coming out. It's called The Woman in Me on October 24th. I am going to make the prediction that Christmas is not going to be fun for the Spears family this year, because I can only imagine how much money Britney Spears got paid by the publisher to write the book. And I can only imagine the stories that are coming out in this book. She has told some in social media. She's made some videos. She's given a couple interviews, but she's been saving it all for the book. And this book is going to be insane. Yesterday, Ozzy announced that he had planned on coming back and touring in the summer of 2024. But when he got the offer to play Power Trip, he took it and was hoping he'd be ready. And he announced yesterday he's not ready. So Ozzy backed out of the Power Trip Festival yesterday. He said in his statement that the band taking his place were longtime friends and that no one would be disappointed about who was going to fill in for Ozzy. Today, Judas Priest confirmed they have taken over for Ozzy at Power Trip, which is October 6th through the 8th in Indio, California. I've been telling you guys about the Sphere in Vegas for over a year now. You guys will remember when I went to Vegas earlier this year, I had the cab driver drive me by the Sphere, which is down by the Venetian on the Strip. Hi, Wednesday. Come here. Come here. You want to sit with me while we talk about the Sphere? And when I went to take a picture of the building, just taking a photo of the building acted like a QR code. You know, when you take your phone camera and you just hover over an image and it opens up a website, just taking a picture of the Sphere opens up the website for the Sphere. Well, the Sphere is over budget, $2.3 billion to construct this venue that holds around 15,000 people for concerts. The company that owns Madison Square Garden built the Sphere, and they're calling it a fully immersive musical experience. So the Sphere it looks like the Death Star. Are you knocking pillows on the floor? It's completely skinned. The exoskeleton is 56.7 million LEDs. And then on the inside, it's supposed to be lit up in LEDs on the inside like a planetarium, so that whatever artist is playing in there, they can make visuals in the LEDs all the way around the crowd. So they began testing the LED exoskeleton this week. And if you guys have not seen the videos of what they can do to this thing, it looks fake, and it's not. They turned the Sphere into the earth. They turned it into an eyeball. They turned it into a jack-o'-lantern. They turned it into a giant basketball. It looks photoshopped. Somebody's got to get on the Google machine, put the links to some of these videos from the Sphere LED testing in the comments. You guys need to see what I'm talking about. I should have put some images up here. It's insane. And that's why U2 at the end of September is going to do their first ever Vegas residency there, because they have always kind of been at the forefront of technology when it comes to light shows, pyro, projections, all of that kind of stuff. I can only imagine what U2 is going to do inside the Sphere. I want to see Tool inside the Sphere. That would be like dream ticket for me. Michael says, sounds like a maintenance nightmare. Oh my God. You know when you have a TV and like one little pixel goes out, or on your computer screen, like one little square goes out? I can't even imagine. My thought is probably the exoskeleton. It's like black scaffolding. They've got to have some kind of ladder trussing structure that the maintenance guys can get up under the LEDs to be able to swap that stuff out so that this thing can just never get shut down. It is going to change what the Vegas Strip looks like because it's insane. It's unbelievable. George put a link up there, the Sphere video on YouTube. Rachel's putting up links up there as well. You guys just open up another window and look at these videos so you see what I'm talking about. It's unbelievable. Like, I'm giddy about it because I think it's so cool. And not just because of the skin on the outside, the exoskeleton, but I can't wait. And the rumor is they're going to build a few of these around the world. There's supposed to be one going in London. There might be one going in California. But they're talking about building these spheres all around the world so that bands can do sphere tours and have the lights all programmed. It's insane, Betty says. Yeah. Ryan says they're worried about causing car accidents. They should be. The thing doesn't look real. It looks like an alien spaceship, like the Death Star just landed on the Vegas Strip down by the Venetian. It's crazy. They did bubbles on it. They turned it into a disco ball. Like, it's so cool. And I mean, it's $2.3 billion. So it's amazing what you can build for $2.3 billion. But they're going to make that money back. I can only imagine the advertising they're going to be able to sell for that thing on the Strip. It's just, yeah, they're putting one in Paris. Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel bad for the Eiffel Tower in Paris if it has to compete with a Sphere. And the cynical Parisians are probably going to hate it because, like, they hate the glass pyramid of the Louvre. Like, I guess, like, Parisians hate the modern architecture in the middle of their old Gothic city. They're going to definitely hate the Sphere for sure. Travis says, I wonder if they're going to have it going for the F1 race in Vegas this November. 100% they will. They're beta testing it now. The venue officially opens in September. By November, the Sphere is going to be up and running full throttle. They'll probably have checkered flag over it. They'll probably make it look like a spinning wheel. I mean, it's probably a team of people's full-time job to just program the visuals for the exoskeleton of the Sphere. And Vegas is like the best place to put something like that up because it's known for its neon lights. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put something like that in Tokyo because that's another city that's just known for its nightlife, known for the neon, the big LED screens, like all of that, which is why the rumors are that they want to put one in New York as well because it's kind of like Times Square where it's just lit up all the time. Ticket prices are out of this world. Carol, for the U2 thing, the cheapest ones I saw, and I went on all of the different brokers, and the way that it's set up, there's actually a general admission section out front, but it looks like, and I haven't seen what the seating arrangement is in the inside, but it looks like the 100 section is like the best seats in the house because those are the most expensive. But there are ticket brokers that do have tickets. The cheapest U2 tickets I saw were $500 a ticket. And I thought that was cheap. Not cheap as in, only $500, but considering that over 1 million people tried to buy tickets for the first 5 shows of the U2 residency, I thought for sure even the worst tickets in the building would have gone for like $2,000 or higher. Jessica wants to know, I wonder if Godsmack will do a show there. I guarantee you that they have already got whatever artists are going to play it lined up for like the next year, because it's not just like getting a regular lighting designer. Like, this is a venue where if the entire inside is all one giant, like Roger Waters, Tool, artists like that are known for pushing the boundaries of their production, U2 obviously, are going to be the artists they're going to want to go after first. Donna says, have a good night, everybody. Be well, Walter. Dear God, wow. Don't think I would spend $500 to see U2. I get it, But I'm so curious about the inside of the venue that I was like, oh, if the tickets were a little more affordable, I might go, because I've definitely got some more Vegas trips coming up. You guys know I end up going out there a couple times a year for work anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. So I wanted to call your attention to the Sphere so you guys would go and look up those videos, because it's crazy. All right, some shows got announced. So at the Garden, we've got Greta Van Fleet, sold out the Garden on September 15th. Queen sold it out October 15th. Tickets still available for October 16th. Aerosmith at the Garden with the Black Crowes on New Year's Eve. Tool, the aforementioned Tool, November 15th at the Garden. Arctic Monkeys are going to be at the Garden September 3rd. The Eagles announced their farewell tour last week with Steely Dan. Tickets go on sale this Friday for their show at the TD Garden on September 11th. Depeche Mode is also going to be there on Halloween. So all the info for all of these shows up on the concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. This is the Eagles farewell tour. It's going to start in September of 2023. Rumor has it the last day of the tour is going to be in 2025. So they're literally going to do what Elton John did and go all around the world, which is what I think Aerosmith is going to do. They haven't announced more dates yet, but I would venture a guess that they're going to want to go around the world one more time. Big Night Live has got The Darkness coming on October 17th and Thrice on October 11th. Both of those tickets are on sale right now. Also, all of these shows. Why is Dave Matthews still there? Damn you, Dave Matthews. I'll drink the Red Bull even though there's no booze in it. Avenged is coming up fast, which, by the way, if you want some free Avenged Sevenfold tickets, I got them coming up. Godsmack and Stained, Mudvayne, Jelly Roll. Congratulations to Jelly Roll. You guys may have seen me tweet about it. Jelly Roll got his second #1 rock song with the rock version of Need a Favor. So congratulations to my boy Jelly Roll. Foreigner and Loverboy, Disturbed, Ghost, Nickelback, Offspring, Shinedown with Papa Roach and Spirit Box, the Xfinity Center. Very, very busy this concert season. Also, Incubus and Bad Flower at Mohegan. The Tool shows that are going to be around New England outside of the Garden at the SNHU Arena in Manchester and Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Ann Wilson is getting ready to be at the Wilbur at the end of August. Extreme and Living Color at Roadrunner August 5th. The Hollywood Vampires are going to be at the Box Center Wang Theater at the end of the month. That show rescheduled from May. Johnny Depp hurt his leg, so they had to reschedule. So all of these shows up on the concert calendar. The Palladium has got the sold-out Sleep Token show coming September 12th. And the triumphant return 5 years later of the New England Metal and Hardcore Festival, headlined Friday night by Parkway Drive, Saturday night by Lamb of God, Hatebreed, Shadows Fall, all happening at the Palladium outdoors, September 15th and 16th. Those tickets are on sale now, and it's at the Palladium outdoors, which is a great place to see a show. MGM Music Hall at Fenway just added, you read that right, Porno for Pyros. Perry Farrell announced today that for the first time since 1998, that Porno for Pyros are going on tour. The only New England show right now is at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway, coming up on October 30th. But these are all of the rock shows coming to the MGM. Super busy with shows. Danzig, 3 Days Grace, Chevelle, Motionless in White, Porno for Pyros. Coming up next is Noel Gallagher and his High Flying Birds. That's happening this weekend. Newfound Glory in August. Mastodon and Gojira. 2 shows. Beck, Billy Idol. I told you, just super, super busy with concerts. And the House of Blues has got the Struts coming up on the 18th. Asking Alexandria with The Who, with Bad Wolves in 0936 on September 12th. Corey Taylor on September 13th, just before the new album CMF2 comes out. And new releases this week. So these are coming out on Friday. Brian May and Friends, The Starfleet Project Deluxe Edition, the reissues coming out. Neil Young's official release series, Volume 5. These all got announced today. Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters has a solo album called Lost at Sea coming out October 20th. Richard Patrick announced the new Filter album called The Algorithm coming out August 25th. Wes Scantlin from Puddle of Mudd announced their new album, Ubiquitous, is coming out September 8th. There is so much new music coming out. It is a really, really, really exciting time in music. And so many great new bands are coming out, newer bands, and a lot of great records from older bands are coming out. So I couldn't be more excited about just the state of rock right now. Mail call checked the mail today, nothing in the mailbox. So I didn't forget. I went and checked it. There was a lot of junk mail, but there was nothing of substance in there. You know what I should do? I should start bringing the junk mail that I get because some of it's kind of hilarious. So maybe I'll do that. I told you guys that I had more Avenged Sevenfold tickets to give away. So if you did not take me up on the offer last week, I got more Avenged Sevenfold tickets. And if you want to go see Avenged Sevenfold with Alexixonfire at the Xfinity Center coming up next week on July 19th, all you got to do, go to mistresscarrie.com, click the Message the Studio button in the top right-hand corner, put A7X in the subject line, and give me your full name and your email address. And first come, first serve, I will hook as many people up with free Avenged Sevenfold tickets as I can while supplies last. So if you like your tickets free, like I do, and you want to go see Avenged Sevenfold, go to mistresscarrie.com right now and put A7X in the subject line, full name and email address. And when the show's over tonight, I will send as many people a free pair of Five Finger Death Punch tickets. Avenged Sevenfold tickets. Jessica asked me about Five Finger Death Punch. So according to everything that I've read, Ivan Moody's been recovering from hernia surgery, and he has been given the go-ahead to have Five Finger Death Punch join the start of the M72 World Tour with Metallica. So Ivan Moody is healing, and that's awesome. Jason wants to know, is Corey Taylor done with Stone Sour? No, matter of fact, he gave an interview last week where he basically said that he's still friends with all of the guys, but that he grew impatient and that he was not willing to, quote, sacrifice his artistic vision. I don't know what that means, other than we're probably not going to get new Stone Sour music for a while. But he just talked about it in an interview last week. Let's see. Steven says, Powerman 5000 is playing tonight 10 minutes up the road from my house in Portland, Oregon. And you didn't go? George says, quick, somebody send Carrie a bag of dicks so she gets mail, says George. They were at Welcome to Rockville. Gonna head out early. Have a great night, guys. Good night, Jonathan. Let's see. Mark says, I had that hernia surgery in college. It is not fun. Let's see. Keith wants Who and Billy Joel tickets. Have you guys listened to the Fall Out Boy version of We Didn't Start the Fire? So Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire ends at 1989. Fall Out Boy picked up at 1989 and rewrote the song with all modern references all the way to 2023. And you can check out the video on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. Annie Ange, I was going to talk about that. Okay, so coming up July 25th, it is Leominster night for the Woo Sox. The Worcester Red Sox in Worcester at Polar Park. They do these town takeovers where a different town gets to take over the park for a game. And July 25th is Leominster night. And Annie Ange, who is now a great-grandmother, has been named the Citizen of the Year in Leominster. And she is throwing out the first pitch at Polar Park that night. So you got to go. Bring your flamingos. Wear your Leominster High Blue Devils stuff and go and see Annie Ange throw out the first pitch at Polar Park on July 25th. It's so awesome. Annie Ange, you have got to practice because you have a reputation to uphold. It better be right down the middle. If I have to call Oil Can Boyd to give you pitching lessons, we're going to do it. But Annette says, I cannot wait for next Wednesday. Congrats, Honey Ange, says Trina. So yeah, Lemonster Night, July 25th at Polar Park. And by the way, that's up on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. And if you want to go to Lemonster Night at Polar Park, go to the event concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Click the link that is on my calendar. Because if you buy the tickets through that link, a portion of the ticket money gets donated to the Boys and Girls Club in Leominster. That's part of the town takeovers, is that every town gets to pick a charity in their town. And Leominster chose the Boys and Girls Club in Leominster. So go to the concert calendar to get your tickets. Click that link to buy your tickets because it'll help to make a charitable donation to the Boys and Girls Club in Leominster, which is awesome. MistressCarrie.com, no merch, no new merch to announce yet, but I told you guys I'm in R&D on some new stuff, so I will definitely let you know. Christine wants to know if I'm going to Avenged Sevenfold. I don't know yet. You guys know that I am taking some time off at the end of the month. I'm going to talk to you guys about that next week because I am going on a little vacay and I want to tell you guys all about it. If you have a backstage pass, you already know about it. But as the countdown for me going on vacation gets closer, the days are getting crazier and crazier with all of the things I need to get done before I can leave. So I don't know if I'm going to Avenged Sevenfold yet. Jessica says, congratulations are definitely in order. Yeah, Ani Ange is the Citizen of the Year. That's how much charity work, volunteer work, just how badass she is. She's the Citizen of the Year, which is kind of unbelievable. So, okay. Speaking of backstage passes, if you don't have one, you can get one at patreon.com/mistresscarrie or just click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com. If you get a backstage pass, you get exclusive live streams that we do every month. You also get to submit podcast interview questions. You get travel blog updates. So I'll be taking the backstage pass holders on vacation with me when I go. Like I said, I'll give you the details on that coming up. You also get early access to event information and tickets, merchandise discount codes, special sales, discount codes. You help me design merch. You get exclusive concert ticket giveaways. So right now, if you have a backstage pass, you have access to Avenged Sevenfold tickets, to Mudvayne tickets to see Mudvayne, Cold Chamber, Nonpoint, the Butcher Babies, and Guar. You also have access to tickets to see Gojira and Mastodon and to see Nickelback. Those are all tickets that backstage pass holders can get. You guys know how to get them. Reach out to me through Patreon if you have a backstage pass, and I will hook you up with the tickets you want. Did anybody see the video that the guy posted about the roller coaster in North Carolina where there was a crack in one of the support pillars? You can see how bad it is when the roller coaster comes around the corner. Oh, I saw it. I was like, and people think skydiving's dangerous. The roller coaster was cracked. And then you go back and look at the old wooden coasters like at Riverside Park and Whalum Park and Canopy Lake Park that we grew up riding when we were kids. Those things were indestructible. Meanwhile, this metal roller coaster, state-of-the-art coaster in North Carolina, had a massive crack in the track. It was crazy. So that's how you get your Mistress Carrie backstage pass. I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about this social media stuff that's been going on. So first of all, a few weeks ago, a report came out that Instagram, out of all of the social media platforms, was the worst when it came to scouring users for like child trafficking stuff, sex solicitation stuff. And so in the last few weeks, there have been a ton of new protections added to Instagram. And so what is happening is that my Instagram, Mistress Carrie WAF, keeps getting flagged because of the Mistress Carrie thing, because they're trying to root out the sexual solicitation and all the spam dominatrixes and all of that kind of stuff off of Instagram. And so you may have noticed some irregularities with my Instagram page, and that's why. It's been really, really weird. I'm working with specialist to try and get it taken care of. But I wanted to let you guys know because when Instagram launched Threads last week, which is their version of Twitter basically, in order for your Threads feed to work, your Instagram page has to be functional. You can't sign up for Threads without having Instagram. You get one, you get both. And so I launched my Threads at Mistress Carrie WAF, partnered with my Instagram. But because my Instagram keeps getting caught in this new algorithm and all of these bots that are scrubbing Instagram for all of this, content that doesn't meet their terms and conditions, my Instagram page keeps getting flagged. So what I did was I started, for a number of reasons, not just this, but as the podcast continues to grow, there are a lot of people that just find the podcast and don't know about WAF or my radio career, that live outside of New England, that are not, interested in seeing pictures of my garden or my dogs. And so I wanted to have an Instagram page dedicated to just the podcast. And which is kind of like what I use my TikTok for as well, which I've been uploading backlogs of videos onto TikTok. And finally, over the weekend, I got my ass in gear. So I launched a second Instagram account. It's called Mistress Carrie Podcast. And there is also an attached Threads account, Mistress Carrie Podcast. And then there is also a Threads account for my Instagram. That's Mistress Carrie WAF on Threads and on Instagram. So sometimes the Mistress Carrie WAF page is down. I'm still getting the podcast page up to speed with a lot more podcast content. But I wanted to call your attention to the new accounts for the podcast and also to explain why my Instagram page has been acting so weird. We're working on getting it fixed. It's just really weird. If anybody knows anybody that works at Instagram or Meta, let me know. But I am working with some media companies that are intermediaries between me and Instagram to try and get it solved. It's just really weird because so much of these pages, so much of Facebook, so much of Twitter, so much of Instagram, so much of TikTok, it's not human eyes that are looking at all of this content. They've got algorithms and bots that are trained to sift through this for questionable content, and it flags stuff automatically. And so to be able to get to a human to solve this kind of a problem has been difficult, to say the least. So, So if anybody knows anybody on Instagram, let me know. But otherwise, we're working on it. And I am aware of the issues. So many people have messaged me saying, hey, is there something going on? I can't find your Instagram page. Other people have also let me know that there have been fake Instagram and Facebook pages where they steal my graphics. Last week in the war room, one of these hacker sites made a fake Mistress Carrie Facebook page and started commenting on all of you guys' comments, trying to get you guys to click the links. Please be careful about that stuff. Make sure on any of these social platforms that these pages are legit before you click on any of the links. That's why I show you guys what my handles are so that you know. The page that was spamming Cocktails in the War Room last week spelled my name with one R. And that's how you could tell. If you look quick, you didn't catch it. But if you're paying attention, you could tell it was a fake account. And people started emailing me and messaging me to tell me that this fake account was there. So what I would ask you guys to do is that if you guys notice fake accounts, this podcast account is not fake. This is me. It says official Instagram of the Mistress Carrie podcast. And I'm slowly getting it up to speed. Definitely report the fake accounts you see. At the very least, message me and let me know that they're there. Let's see. I've sent you a few pages that I've reported. Mark, you have, and I really appreciate it because they don't own the graphics. They obviously, are trying to use my name, which is trademarked. So they know what they're doing is wrong. Jane says I didn't fall for it, which is why I tell you guys when we do these ticket giveaways here in the War Room that I want you to go to my website, click the message the studio, send me your information, because that's how I can tell if you're legit or not. Jessica says, I have been hacked and cloned so many times on Facebook. These people need a life and a hobby. Yeah, exactly. Love how these scammers put a blue check mark with it. Oh, I know. They're really good at faking it, but if you look close enough, you can tell that they're not real. So, but I did want to call you guys' attention to the podcast pages. There is not a podcast Facebook page. There is not a podcast TikTok. There's only a Mistress Carrie TikTok. There's only a Mistress Carrie YouTube. There's only a Mistress Carrie Twitter. But the Instagram and Threads, because when I signed up for the new Instagram page, it automatically came with a new Threads page. So I just said the hell with it. I'll just put it up there. Donna says, I told them to stop impersonating you. They're not going to listen. You're trying to rationalize with assholes. So just that's their hobby, or it's their business, because they're trying to hack your computers. They're trying to hack into your bank accounts. They're trying to steal, they're trying to do ransomware. They're trying to do all of that stuff. So if I get hacked, can they at least get my good side? Yeah, exactly. I don't even let the haters win. Some people say my posts are annoying. Yeah, F them. Whatever. People do suck, Jason. You're 100% right. Are you ever going to have a Mistress Carrie app? Steven, I've looked into it. The development of the app is pricey. And I'm still trying to get the Alexa skill done. They are still working on it. It's still not done. I have been assured that they think they're going to be able to get it to work, but it's not up and running yet. And until I can get that done, because it's the same company that also builds the apps, I don't want to start a second project until the Alexa skill gets done. So I've looked into an app. The thing is, people have so many apps, and there's so many updates that are required, and there's so much required for these apps that I've been a little hesitant about building one. However, next year, if I'm on more radio stations and things continue to grow, I'm totally open to doing it. It's just right now, not a priority. Did you hear about the car crash at the Looney Bin up at Laconia? Will, I did. And by the way, the Looney Bin is one of my favorite bars, like ever, especially up around Lake Winnipesaukee, up at Laconia. The Looney Bin is a blast. And when I saw that somebody crashed a car into the Looney Bin and that some people got hurt, I was really, really bummed out, because I love that place. It is so awesome up there. Donna says, Lisa, run a virus check if you can, just to be safe. People can be so petty and ruin people's lives if they, all they want is money and they ruin people's lives. Yeah. I mean, look at the people that have been shot during bank robberies. And it's like that person just wanted money and they were willing to kill people for it. Like, it's just ridiculous. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew what was going on with my Instagram. I am very well aware that there's technical problems with it. It gets activated and then it gets flagged, and then it gets activated and then it gets flagged, and then it gets activated and then it's just, we're working on it. Trust me. I've been on the phone a lot over the last couple of weeks since I started noticing irregularities in the behavior. Not only can you find me on social media here and the new Mistress Carrie podcast, Instagram and Threads, don't forget you can download the Pike app and listen to me on 100 FM The Pike in Worcester. And you can also download the Bone app and listen to me on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. So there you go. All right, guys. That's it. Episode 240 of Cocktails in the War Room. Don't forget episode 162 of the Mistress Carrie podcast featuring Nita Strauss goes live at midnight tonight. I'll probably be going to bed at like 6 a.m. because I'm still drinking Red Bull at 10 o'clock at night. But it's going to be a late night. So I will see you guys next week. There's lots going on. Next week, I will tell you guys all about my upcoming vacation plans and fill you guys in, because I am also going to be asking for some suggestions, planning out my vacation as well. So, Will, good night. Be safe out there. Elsa, Mark says the hackers need a bag of dicks. Exactly. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week.